Okay, well, so Beth, I'm wondering if it would be okay for us to talk about, just if you'd be open to talking a little bit more about that meditation practice that you were thinking about getting into and kind of addressing some of that. You said that you had bought a workbook and
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit more about what was it again?
The books that I bought.
Yeah.
I bought one on transcendental meditation, and then I bought a workbook that will help me identify, like what kind of a grief or trauma retreat I might want to go to, or it kind of identifies what kind of work I need to do.
And you said that, how long ago did you buy these?
A few months ago.
Okay.
And I've opened the workbook twice. I've done like 6 pages in it.
Okay.
And I haven't opened the meditation one at all.
So your part of you wants to explore this, but there's something, so like on a scale of 0 to 10, how important do you think it is to dig into that stuff? And
how important it is to do it?
Yeah,
It's probably, like a 7.
Okay.
For me to be able to move forward.
Okay. So it's a 7. So tell me why is it a 7 and not a 4 or what?
Well, I know it's what I should do.
Okay.
I've been kind of stuck since my diagnosis, and it took me a while to even get to the point where I could even think about doing anything like that, but I still haven't done it.
So it's taken a while to actually get up the courage to address it, and you even bought some books, but you still can't quite get yourself to take that next step.
Right.
Okay.
Lacking the get up and go to actually do it, even though I know I should.
So tell me a little bit more about what the motivation is to do it in the first place.
I just kind of stuff those emotions down a little bit, and I always joke that it's because I'm Nordic and we don't talk about those kinds of things, but I've overcome the Nordicness in a lot of other ways by some intentional work, but like I can't even entertain the notion of going to my parents' graves, or I still remember very clearly, and it still just affects my self-esteem or my self-confidence when I was bullied, and when a friend just gutted me and
Gutted you.
I haven't really gotten over that succession of things. I feel like it's part of my depression, or I just have lost self-worth and self-confidence.
So just to kind of summarize a lot of that, what you're talking about is you're feeling like you've been through some stuff that has some strong feelings attached to it, but because of your family's kind of tradition of not expressing emotions and how that's kind of ingrained in you, you're kind of feeling motivated to find a way past that and actually start exploring some of the emotions, but you're not sure if you know how to do it, so you bought some books that can maybe guide you and help you.
I can't even really articulate what kind of help I think I might need, but I feel like I need professional help in some arena, some format.
Okay. And you've tried therapy?
I did a couple online therapists. Well, I did one in person, and then I did one online, and the in-person one was a complete flop. And the online one, it was okay for a while, but then we weren't really accomplishing anything more, and then I moved, and it just got lost in the shuffle.
So for you, like doing some of that personal work, you feel like you might be more, your personality might match better if you kind of do some self-help stuff and kind of read about it and working on it. And then maybe you said attending like a workshop or a retreat of some kind?
Yeah, I don't actually think the self-help is my thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I bought that book to help me identify, like, if you look up grief or trauma workshops or retreats online, I mean, there's a gazillion of them.
Okay.
And I don't know how to choose one. And what I've been through, I don't feel like I would want to be in a workshop with like somebody that lost a child.
Okay.
Or,
So
you know,
feel
mine
like-
are different. Even though maybe the steps of grief and all that might be, or trauma resolution might be similar. It seems like I don't know how to choose which one to go to. I don't know what would help me. So I thought the workbook might help me identify what kind of retreat or group workshop thing that would work for me.
Okay, so you're really trying to narrow it down to what kind of retreat you need. So you're motivated to do the work, you're just trying to figure out more of a direction and what type of program to attend.
I'm motivated to attend a retreat, but I'm not motivated to do the work to clarify what kind of retreat I need.
Okay, and that's what you're hoping that the book would do.
Right.
And so there's a workbook, there's a book. So it sounds like you're fairly motivated. And you mentioned it was a 7 out of 10. What do you think it would take for it to be like maybe an 8 or a 9? What would make you more motivated to do it?
I don't know. I mean, they've been sitting on my table in my bedroom for, I don't know. Maybe if the types of workshops got narrowed down, I could figure out which one I would fit into. Maybe I need to, but I mean, yeah, I guess maybe if the workshops got narrowed down, then I could read about the workshops and think, oh, well, that sounds like it could apply to me.
So maybe if you looked into it or somebody gave you some more information that provided you with more narrowed down. By narrowed down, do you mean like ones that are more in your community or
No, topic.
Topic oriented.
And what are the things that are done in the retreat? Like, I really bonded and had good conversations with people on a tiny house build. Like, it was a 7-day thing, and we had campfires every night, and we really talked and worked through some things together. I think we were strangers when we came together, but like a function one versus a classroom paper writing. And does that even exist? I don't know.
So trying to find out what kind of retreat it is, if they're going to be writing things down and processing those things together, or if they're going to be more, informal, like your experience and how positive that was before. And if you could find something that kind of matched that a little bit, that might be more kind of suitable for you. Okay.
Right.
And can you think of how you would find out, how you would narrow those down?
I think I would have to ask a professional to give me categories, or I can't do it myself. I've tried to do it, and it's way too overwhelming because there's just thousands of them out there. So I think I would need a professional to narrow down to like 5 types and give me some examples, or tell me what Google searches to do to get those results, or I'm just out there flailing on the internet trying to find something, and it's not.
So the part about trying to narrow it down seems to be the real barrier. So where would you say, so like if you were to able to get it narrowed down to a few different topics, that would make it more of an 8 or a 9, and then you could see yourself really digging into that workbook. And
Well, then I maybe wouldn't even need the workbook.
okay. Okay.
The workbook is just a stepping stone to get to a workshop or
Okay.
retreat.
Okay.
I don't really want to do the workbook.
Okay. So where does that leave you right now? If this is what it would take for it to be more of an 8 or a 9.
I guess finding somebody that could identify those categories for me, which would probably have to be a therapist, and choosing a therapist is just a whole nother black hole.
Okay. So what are your choices right now as you see them?
I guess somehow try to get hooked up with a professional that could help me narrow those. Maybe I would look up a local grief counselor or trauma counselor and just say, hey, can you just identify the top 4 or 5 categories of group?
And maybe looking for a referral to one, because
Right.
some of them might require a referral or
Oh,
something like that.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
So that would be a real stepping stone, like finding a trauma-informed therapist in the community who you could kind of pick the brain of.
Right.
Okay. So I appreciate how much you've told me, and I think what I understand it to be is that really what it comes down to is finding a specific retreat that is more along your lines of, kind of informal, where it's going to be people expressing and sharing ideas together and sharing experiences together and helping each other out. And for you, doing trauma work or grief work or any kind of personal work works better in that kind of setting, as opposed to just trying to do it individual with a therapist, because that hasn't been. So you're looking for that, and the topics that you're trying to address, you're worried that if it's too broad, you're not going to be able to relate to people.
Right.
Yeah, but if it's too narrow, you don't know that exists.
Right. And maybe I don't know what I need. I don't know how to identify what I need.
Okay. So how does that happen? Does that
I
come
don't
back
know.
to seeing? Does that come back to seeing a therapist who focuses on trauma and grief?
Yeah, maybe. But then I'm back to oh my God, how do you find a good therapist? So,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, whatever, forget it.
Okay.
I'll deal.
Okay. So I have some ideas about trauma therapy, and I can find some resources for you and connect you with my friend Thomas, who is he specializes in scheduling people to see therapists that are specific to different clients' needs, and if I set you up with Thomas, just as a 15-minute appointment, he might be able to come up with some resources. And if I have you sign a release of information, and he can contact you, and you
That'd be
guys
great.
can schedule that.
That'd be great.
All right.
Cool.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.